Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you guys are listening or watching this podcast. Welcome to the Binkz and Doodle Effect, a brand new podcast talking to you about sports every single week. We're going to give you weekly updates. We're going to be giving you our 2 cents in our predictions going forward in the week. I am one of your hosts, Binkz, and I'm joined here with my good friend over here, Mr. DrewskiDoodle. How are you?
Hello, everybody.
We have a good cast for you today. We have a lot of stuff going on in sports. Thank God we finally have sports back. It's been a while since we haven't had sports, but it's been fun. We're pretty much halfway through the MLB season at this point, and we're coming close to football, and we're in the middle of playoff hockey. So all of that's really, really exciting. Before we get into it, we're just gonna take a few moments to talk about this week's sponsor, and this week we're presented by Thrive Fantasy. Thrive Fantasy is a daily fantasy sports and esports app for player props. If you use the promo code GETLIVID, that's GETLIVID, you're going to see that on the bottom of the screen. When you sign up and you deposit your first $20, if you use that code GETLIVID, you will instantly get another $20 on top of your first deposit. So you put in $20, you get $40. You can't really beat that. So make sure you guys download Thrive Fantasy. It can be found on the Google Play Store or the Apple iTunes Store. Thrive Fantasy, get livid. But moving forward, I think one of the hottest topics right now in baseball, Fernando Tatis.
The man, the myth, the legend, the best player in baseball right now.
The swaggiest player in baseball.
Oh, without a doubt.
He's absolutely, man. He's tearing it up.
It's good because he's having fun while playing the game. That's why he's playing so well. And he's only 22, whatever, and he's just having a great time hitting dingers, being a top tier baseball player. And you love to see it. Let the kids play.
No, absolutely. I mean, you have all these people, money hungry, and it's really nice to see a young player really just enjoying the fun of the game and bringing that type of thing back. How do you feel about that 3-0 Grand Slam?
Oh, swing the bat.
Absolutely.
If you don't want to get teed off on 3-0, don't go down 3-0.
Exactly.
How are you going to tell someone to swing in a meatball?
First of all, unspoken rule. I mean, I think it's absolutely bullshit. You are a paid professional baseball player to swing the bat. I mean, if you go talk to the New York Mets, they will be the first team to tell you that a 7-run lead sometimes just isn't enough. You're gonna tack on as many runs as you possibly can, and I think swinging on a 3-0 pitch. I mean, if it's right down the middle, you're going to swing at it. I mean, you're not going to take the pitch and take the walk if it's ball 4 and then only be up 8, because what if the Rangers then score 9 runs in the next inning? I mean, it's not impossible to happen. Is it probable? No. But is it impossible? No. You swing the bat. You swing the bat. And the fact that the Texas Rangers wanted an apology and were all crying and butthurt about it, I've lost so much respect for the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, and it sucks. It's kind of like the Texas Rangers, but I don't remember who said it. Someone said this, and it's super correct. Like, if he's going to take that 3-0 pitch, does that mean that the Rangers are not going to try as hard to come back? So why would he not try hard to create a bigger gap? It doesn't make any sense. There's no such thing as unspoken rules. If it's not written, if it's not in a rule book, it's not a rule. Exactly. He can do what the hell he wants. Swing the bat, hit a home run. He's having so much fun. He's going to be the best player in baseball in like 6 years. Quote me on that. That's after Mike Trout has started on the decline. Mike Trout is the best player in baseball.
No argument.
Let him play. He has it all. Let him play. He's a face of the sport that baseball needs. Mike Trout is the best player in baseball, but he's not the face of the sport. He is too low key, which is fine. He works well for him. But Tatis Jr. has that swag that baseball needs.
I agree with that a lot. I mean, you look at, say, another sport, and teams like the Patriots and Bill Belichick. I know I was talking to you about this earlier when everything was happening, but You mean you realize how many games the Patriots don't blow, or why the Patriots are so successful is because Belichick never takes his foot off the gas ever. I mean, they could be up 35-0, and Tom Brady would, while he was on the Patriots, would be in the shotgun still passing, like deep.
You're never,
your foot
safe.
stays on the gas.
You got to think even too. Baseball, you are the least safe in baseball out of any other sport because there's no clock to run out.
Exactly.
Every guy gets his due, and you really got to separate yourself as best you can. You're never safe. So the Padres are looking nasty. They got that lineup is gross between him, Machado, Hosmer is playing well. That team is nice.
They low key can make a nice little run, in the shortened season. It's anyone's game.
Especially with the expanded playoffs.
Exactly.
They got.
It's going to be really cool and fun to see how these extended playoffs even work. I mean, as a Met fan myself, I'm just shooting for second place at this point.
Still gonna miss.
Just to limp in, But the Padres have been on absolute fire. Hitting 4 grand slams in 4 consecutive games, and then breaking the record and hitting 5 grand slams in 6 days is just absolutely unreal. And one of those grand slams was Fernando Tatis on the 3-0, and then the other one was Machado as a walk-off.
Mm-hmm. We'd love to see it. I mean, they're keeping competitive, and they're staying right up with the Dodgers in the NL West. The NL West is low-key kind of disgusting between them. The Rockies started off good, but then fell off the planet. But still, that they're keeping pace with the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
That says a lot.
And the Dodgers were the favorite to win the World Series this year.
The Dodgers are a stacked team. Mm-hmm. There's no reason they should not win the World Series.
And
they're keeping pace with it.
I do like the Yankees. I think the Yankees are the best team in baseball. In all honesty,
I think
that kills me to say, because I'm such an avid Yankee hater. I don't mean to offend anyone listening, but I'm such a big Met fan. I just that rivalry, and it's different for Met fans. But I will give credit where credit is due, and I think the Yankees are the best team in baseball, hands down.
I don't know, that AL is tough because you got the Yankees. Obviously, the Yankees they're 16-9, I think. Then you have Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's on fire.
Good. Tampa Bay's good, but I think in the long run the Yankees are gonna pull out.
We'll see, because the long run, we're halfway through the season already.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though. Realistically.
Yeah, I know. Tampa Bay has the second or third most runs scored in the league, something like that. That's going to be nice. You never know if Toronto's going to step it up, which, again, we're halfway through the season. It's kind of late for that. Mm-hmm. But it's possible. You got Minnesota, who I think has the best lineup in the AL. The White Sox are playing fantastic. The Indians are
my boys, my tribe.
As hell. They're not a great lineup, but they're way above average. Mm. And their pitching is they got Shane Biebs. And they got Mike Clevenger. That team is nice. The AL is and the Athletics. The Athletics are playing intense.
Dude, the Athletics are playing great right now. They're playing stellar.
The AL is tough. So we'll see. That's going to be fun.
That's going to be
very tough.
That AL playoff. When the playoffs start, and we would just watch the American League. That's going to be great with all those matchups and just seeing where every team turns out. I mean, obviously, as you know, I do root for the Indians every single year. I love them. If I wasn't a Met fan, I'd be a Cleveland Indian fan.
Yeah, not to love about the Indians. That's a great team.
Love the
Indians.
Fun
team.
Yeah, I love the Indians. Man, I was rooting for them so hard when they played Chicago in that World Series. Mostly because I was a big fan, loved the Indians, but I really didn't want to see the Cubs, break their curse.
Keep it going.
I wanted the misery to keep going. Absolutely.
I didn't want the Mets to be the official most heartbroken fan base.
Exactly, right? Well, speaking of the Mets, we had the false positive with the Mets. We thought a coach and a player had COVID, and it ended up now they're testing negative, so they can resume play. But we missed out on a good weekend of baseball with Mets-Yankees, and this would have been the most perfect time for the Mets to play the Yankees was this weekend, because we were not going to see Cole.
Oh, if only.
The Yankees are 4 men out. They had 4 men down, and we weren't going to see Cole. It was the perfect time for the Mets to play the Yankees, and it is the most Met thing to go ahead and ruin that. Because now we will probably, you're giving time for those players to come back. I don't even know if they have or not. I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure we face Cole this weekend.
We do, and it would have been cool if we would have got to see DeGrom versus Cole.
That would have been a great match. Sick. Yeah, that would have been a great matchup.
So that's what the Mets are doing. The way they have their pitchers spaced out with their doubleheaders, which the doubleheaders at 7 innings are ridiculous. They're spacing DeGrom out, so DeGrom's going to have 2 starts in this short period. Both are 7-inning games. So I get what they're doing. They want to have him go twice. Hopefully it's 2 wins. But we're being robbed of DeGrom versus Cole, which would just be
phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Especially after DeGrom wins.
Well, DeGrom's the best pitcher in baseball.
I'm sorry. DeGrom gets the no decision and the Mets lose. That's what would happen.
Yeah. My man's going to finish this season like 4-0.
4-0 with like a 1.3 ERA.
Yeah.
Gross. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. The false positives are bad, especially. You know what I don't get to? We go to Miami. Mm-hmm. We get it was one player and one back office guy test positive, apparently. We are put on hold. We can't play. And who do we play when we first come back?
The Marlins.
The Miami Marlins.
Yeah. We go right back.
Someone just nuke them, please. Like, get them gone. I can't deal with the Miami freaking Marlins. Oh, God.
I didn't think that they were going to keep their run. I mean, they started off really, really hot, and now they've just completely... They're looking more like the Marlins that we know and love. Or love and hate.
That's another thing, too. With all these pause games, as someone who loves stats and keeping track of stuff, seeing 4 weeks into the season, the Marlins in first place if they've played 13 games and everyone else has played 22, like, God, that's annoying.
It's hard when you're trying to look at the standings too. I mean, with so many games that need to be made up. I mean, realistically, all you're gonna be doing right now is just looking at the loss column and seeing how many losses you have.
Yeah, basically.
Because you really can't.
The same thing's going on with St. Louis. St. Louis has missed so many games. Mm-hmm. I think St. Louis hasn't played 20 games yet.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And everybody else in the division's played almost 30.
It's gonna be so many doubleheaders, and you know what? Like, I love baseball. I loved playing baseball, but if you told me I had to play like 5 doubleheaders in a row, I'd be shot.
Oh, God.
I'd be shot.
And that kind of favors the team that got postponed, because now they had this break, even though some of them were sick, but still, most of them weren't. They had this break, and now they're like, okay, you're going to sprint to the finish for a week. Mm-hmm. They're way more well-rested. I mean, they're baseball players. They normally play 162 games, but baseball isn't the most taxing sport. They're not going to be that gassed when they've had this break.
Exactly.
So it's St. Louis is going to win the NL Central. Watch.
Wait, well, what really upset me was that the Mets, for the viewers who were, this is the first episode, me and Doodle are big Met fans, and big. We like to torture ourselves. That's why we're Met fans. But I mean, the Mets started getting hot right before this whole false positive thing, and now they came out and lost to the Marlins. Looked terrible. So it's definitely kills the momentum, and it's tough to see stuff like that. And hopefully going forward, the Mets can get back on track and begin rolling again. But
yeah, it's tough to see that after the NBA and the NHL. I mean, we've said this a bunch of times. The NBA and the NHL handled it so well, and the MLB didn't. Mm-hmm. You've got to keep looking at the positives. Got to look at what I'm paying more attention to this year is the individual awards: Cy Young, Silver Slugger,
DeGrom 3 years in a row.
DeGrom will see. Yeah, it's going to be good. But that does bring up another point where we have a competitor for the Cy Young Award in the NL.
We do.
Trevor Bauer. The man, the myth, the legend, Trevor Bauer.
Yeah, he's
my new favorite baseball player.
Dude, I love him. Like, he's an
absolute savage.
With the whole cleats with Joe Kelly, free Joe Kelly, that's a whole different topic on why you love Joe Kelly for, doing whatever he did. But the fact that Bauer wanted to wear those cleats, it was great. And I was like,
amazing.
Just brand new respect for the guy. Brand new respect.
And then being threatened by baseball to not be able to play. So he's going to gain way more popularity by that. Mm-hmm. Like, I need a Trevor Bauer jersey just from that.
Exactly.
And then after the game, goes on Twitter and tags Carlos Correa if he wants the cleats. This man,
savage,
has reached new levels of savagery that great. I cannot comprehend. I love it.
And what about
we need more of that?
We do, and now you had him do it last night where he strikes out and does the can open for the Budweiser.
Love it. Need more of that in baseball. Absolutely too. We need more of the. We're in the age of social media. They haven't embraced it enough. have small stuff like this. It's fantastic.
The Cincinnati
Man,
Cincinnati Buds.
They tell him 14 Ks is his next 2 starts. He's keeping track, so he knows. Cracks open a beer and chugs it, metaphorically. Amazing. I love it. There's nothing not to love about that. He is so great, and there's nothing not to love.
We need that though back in baseball, because I mean baseball is definitely a sport for this generation that has been on the decline. You know, people like me and you who were raised with pretty much baseball. I mean, it doesn't matter what they do, I'm always going to love the sport. It's probably going to be my favorite sport. Is it the most entertaining? Absolutely not. But there's still that love for baseball that can't be replaced by any sport. So, but I mean, you know, younger generation, you know, trying to grow up now, you know, they want to watch something like football. They want to watch something like the NBA, you know, hockey, stuff that's constant action. I mean, baseball, I mean, you have a 0-0 game going into the 8th. It could be pretty boring, you know, and I completely understand. But we need more stuff like that to, you know, keep it going.
Just keep the culture alive, because it's like, I get why it's difficult for people who didn't play it as a kid to watch it. I mean, it's different when I was a pitcher for 15 years, so like in my head I'm always thinking like, what's the pitcher going to do? So it keeps me entertained. But if for someone who has never picked up a baseball bat to watch it, I get it.
It's tough.
So you're going to need that culture like every other sport has.
But
hopefully it keeps up. Hopefully it keeps up. With the way, especially with Trevor Bauer with that shirt he had on. Did you see that little send it shirt?
I did see that when he threw it over the center field wall. It was
that might have been my favorite thing he's done, actually.
It's great. I mean, he's like that rebellion guy that, you know, you just gotta root for, because you just love the.
He doesn't care.
You love the attitude.
He doesn't go out of his way to offend anyone, to go after somebody, to really like bully somebody. There's nothing like
just a small
bad
kind
about
of like
him.
stick it to the man type.
Exactly. He's only doing it to people who did something wrong. I mean, sticking to the Astros, sticking it to Manfred.
Yeah.
But then he has the numbers to back it up. He'll go out and dominate. You have to love it.
If you want to talk the talk, you gotta walk the walk, and he can definitely back his game up. So
exactly.
If he was if he was going out there doing everything and then coming out and pitching like, you know, Familia, there would be an issue.
Yeah. No, he's a great guy, man.
But
should be a very fun second half
of
the shortened baseball season.
It should be. Let's go Mets. However, moving on to hockey.
Oh yeah.
The Pens and the Leaf had a huge trade. Fan, you know, I know DrewskiDoodle wants to touch in on that, you know, give his little 2 cents on that.
Here's the thing with this trade. Not only is it dumb, but to start off, but the team that won the trade will still screw it up. So the big 2 pieces where the Maple Leafs sent Kasperi Kapanen to the Pittsburgh Penguins for their first round draft pick of this year. Oh my God, my head. So for those who don't know, the Pittsburgh Penguins have it's a top 10 pick this year. And this is known as a very deep draft. So what it seems to me, I think, how old is Kapanen? He's in his mid-20s. He's like 24, 25. But he's not elite. He's a good hockey player, but he's not top tier. It seems like the Penguins are trying to cling to this playoff threshold where they're going to get into the playoffs every year and then get dominated first round, which is not how you have success. I mean, that's what the Rangers were doing for 5 years, and then they're like, all right, we're going to rebuild, and look what's happening.
Exactly.
It's all going pretty well. On the other side of it, you have probably the most cursed hockey franchise of all time, the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're getting rid of a player. Whatever, you can deal with it. He's not crazy. You're getting a top 10 draft pick, and they're going to screw it up. They're the Toronto Maple Leafs. They believe in offense, and more offense with no defense, and then they still can't score anyway, and they lose. I hate this team. Just because they're dumb. They need. Oh God, we're gonna see what happens. See who they pick. If they don't pick a defenseman with this pick, I hope they never win a Stanley Cup again. Just because of how obvious it should be a defenseman. They don't have one. And I don't want to have to wish this upon them because I have a friend who's a huge Maple Leafs fan. But if they don't pick a defenseman or trade it for a defenseman,
they're just
I
doing it
hope
to
they never
themselves.
make it.
They're just doing it to themselves
Exactly.
at this point.
It's awful. This is why they do nothing. But yeah, so that's fun. And then, of course, we had over the weekend or late last week, the conclusion of the first round of the NHL playoffs. And that was a very fun first round.
The Islanders look ridiculous.
So here's my thing with the Islanders.
They look so good, and that's all
the
you need
Islanders
to be
look
in the playoffs,
excellent.
man. You just got to be the hot team in the playoffs. It means nothing.
They look very good. The only thing I will say as well, though, not to take it away from them, because again, they played very well.
They're playing very well.
The Capitals played like absolute crap, and the Flyers in Game 1 played terribly. The Islanders are out skating both of those teams, so it's definitely factoring in. But Philly honestly was a favorite of the East, so I don't think it's going to be as easy as Game 1 just was.
No, absolutely not. I mean, I expect that series to maybe go 6 games, maybe even 7.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely going to go 6 games.
I don't think the Islanders are going to have their way with with the Flyers as well as they did with the Capitals.
No, the Flyers are a much younger team. They're going to be good for a while. They just have this. I think it was a couple days since they played. It's never a good thing for a hockey team. You got to keep it running. Big team that went like that was the Stars. The Stars played the Flames in the first round. In their first couple games, they couldn't score. They scored including the round robin tournament, which was 4 or 5 games, whatever. So in like a 7-game span, they scored 14 goals, something like that. It was not good. But then from Game 4 to Game 6, they scored. No, I'm sorry. The next 4 games, they scored 24 goals. They flipped the switch. They absolutely dominated Calgary. In Game 6, they were down 3-0 5 minutes into the third period, and then scored 7 unanswered goals. Ridiculous. They were the last first-round series to finish. They played again 2 days later, and they scored another 5 goals against Colorado, who was honestly the favorite to win the Cup, I think. So you're right. It's getting hot. It's just about getting hot.
It's just about getting hot. Your regular season, whatever, like I said, it means absolutely nothing. Whoever is the hottest team in the playoffs goes into the playoffs as the hottest team. You're going to have the best chance, making a run, which is what is so huge for the Islanders, just because if COVID never happened, there's a very good chance that the Islanders don't even make the playoffs by how they were playing. They were so cold. They probably were going to miss it. And the Rangers were one of the hottest teams in the NHL, who were just going to go right by them and Carolina. I mean, I think if the Rangers play Carolina, without COVID, I think the Rangers win that series and the Rangers move on. But because of this whole COVID and everything stopping, I mean, your momentum's gone. There's no you can mentally say, let's still go. We're still your momentum's gone. Yeah. And for a cold team like that, for the Islanders now to pick it up and just do what they're doing, it's huge. Yeah, absolutely huge.
That's what the Islanders usually are too. They're a very on or off team. When they're on, they're on. When they're off, they're off.
They're really off.
So they're picking a good time to be on. What else we got? In very unhockey like fashion, we had only one upset, but it was a huge upset. The Vancouver Canucks knocked out the defending Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues. The Blues played like shit. Jordan Binnington played like crap. The Canucks, I don't want to say they don't deserve to be there, because they do. They want to play in series. They won round 1. They absolutely deserve to be where they are. But if without COVID, they would not have made the playoffs. They're a very young team. They're a very good team. Do I think they have any shot of beating the Golden Knights? Absolutely not. But I said the same thing about the Blues. So that'll be a very interesting series to watch. And then back in the East, we got the Bruins and the Lightning, which many people would have thought would have been the Eastern Conference Finals in a normal season. I'm not big on Tampa Bay. I think they're old, they're declining, and I think Boston is going to steamroll them.
I can agree with that. Who do you think's winning the Cup?
So I do the NHL bracket challenge,
Mm-hmm.
and for just so you all know, my pick was the St. Louis Blues. So no,
that aged well, Andrew.
that aged so well. But I'm gonna go with Dallas now.
Okay.
As long as they have
I
their
sense
big
some
thing is
bias
their.
in that pick, and you know.
I am a Dallas fan, but the way what they did to Colorado, and they're up 2-0 now. If their first line stays ignited like it is, because they have one of the best first lines in hockey, and Anton Hudobin keeps being a brick wall in net, I see them playing Vegas in the Western Conference Final. I think that the Dallas will just play a little faster, especially with their active defensemen, and they, in a very tight 7-game series, would beat Vegas, and they will probably play the Flyers in the Stanley Cup. So I think Dallas will beat the Flyers in 7 in the Cup.
Okay. I personally, I would like to see the Knights win it.
Nah, they've only been in the league for 3 years. Screw them.
I don't know. There's just something about them. I don't want to see.
Awesome.
I don't want to see anyone in the East win because I just don't. I'm
one team in the East I was rooting for.
I'm very bitter. I'm just very bitter that the Rangers got knocked out. Such a big
we got the first pick.
We do have the first round pick.
It doesn't matter. Okay. It's okay.
It is okay.
It's fine.
First round pick. Man, when that ball came through that tube, and all you saw was a little bit of the blue. I was like, that's all I needed to see. I jumped. I was like, that's the Rangers. Like, that's our logo.
Right away.
That is right away. That is our blue. There's the New York Rangers. We had the first overall pick. It was going to be great. It made losing to Carolina that, a little bit better.
Yeah. It's going to be it's really going to be a fun Stanley Cup playoffs now. The heat is on. Mm-hmm. By the time our next episode comes out, the second round will be series will be over.
Some series will be over, and we're gonna be getting close to football season. I know we will be touching on some fantasy football. We will definitely be involved in that. So maybe next week we could start doing some football predictions on who's gonna win each conference, the divisions, any underdogs, any sleeper picks in fantasy for you to look out for.
Draft season is upon us,
Draft season is upon us. I know, me and Doodle have our draft next week. It is definitely upon us. We can't wait. Fantasy football is probably one of my favorite times. Football is definitely one of my favorite times. Just having that fall, autumn air, and just knowing you're gonna have really good food on a Sunday, and you're not moving from the couch, and you're just watching football every single game all day. Oh, can't wait. Can't wait. I love summer. I love summer. I don't want it to go away. I love I'm a big palm tree guy. If I could have palm trees outside my window, I would. But there's something about football season that just can't wait. Can't wait.
I gotta buy more into football because usually I'm a big summer person. Summer's my favorite season by far. The only 3 things that get me through summer ending and going into fall are 1, my birthday in October.
Mm-hmm.
2, pumpkin beer. And 3, the NHL season starting. But the NHL season doesn't start till December now. So there goes that. Well, good luck, everybody.
Yeah. And your Patriots aren't going to be the Patriots really anymore. So we'll see.
I don't know, man.
We'll see how that is. We can touch on that next week, and we can.
As long as I win my fantasy football league, screw it, man.
You're still in better position than me, being a Jet fan. So.
Everyone's in a better position.
I just like to torture myself for the teams I root for. It's okay. I'm used to it. But
it happens.
But I think that's going to be a wrap. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys are listening on any of the services where the podcast is, we are doing our best to get our podcast on all platforms for you guys to listen to. But we will always be on YouTube. If you wanted to see our 2 beautiful faces, along with all the wonderful graphics that we have on screen, please be sure to follow us on social media. All of our links will be in the description below. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. The Binkz and Doodle Effect every Wednesday.
Don't forget.
Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Comment down below if you want something specific to talk about. comment it down in the comment section. If you leave us a 5-star review on one of our podcasts sites where we're hosted, we'll give you a shout out. Any 5-star review, we'll give you a nice little shout out if you leave a 5-star. So, like I said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And I hope you guys have a great week. Enjoy your sports. And until next week, guys, peace out.
Deuces.